Hello to people that eventually watch the video, welcome to Tom 1000 for another video, and today I'm going to do something I've been actually thinking about quite a while because, well, my work is boring as shit and you need something to occupy your mind with while you fill the shelves. So, today I want to talk about my top 5 cosplays. Now, I want to discuss this just to look back on the significance of it all because I've been cosplaying for 2 years now. It really changed my life in ways I can never imagine it would. So I wanted to talk about that. But keep in mind this is not like a least favorite to favorite, because all these cosplays have their own personal significance to myself personally. And they all have their each parts that make them special, of course, to me myself. Of course there are cosplays that I like less than others, but this is not going to be like my least favorite to my favorites, just my top 5 cosplays to that point. Keep in mind though, I will only be wearing cosplays that I've worn to either photo shoots or conventions. So cosplays like, for example, Krennic that I have but I haven't worn yet will not apply to this list. However, considering that I might wear that I will probably wear them in the future, this opinion might change in a matter of time. So, without further ado, I will present you my top 5 cosplays, starting with number 5. At the number 5 list we have Lucius Malfoy, the Malfoy family patriarch himself. And honestly, you say, I'm actually quite surprised that I have this as a cosplay. It's actually a funny story. I never once intended to do Lucius myself. I never really crossed my mind when I started cosplaying to actually cosplay as Lucius Malfoy, because the truth is I hate the Malfoys. I hate with a passion Draco Malfoy. He's an obnoxious spoiled brat. I've hated him from the moment I saw the first movie when I was like, I must have been like 7 or 8 years old at the time or something. I hated that kid. I hated him with a passion, and it was deep, yeah, believe me. So the thought of cosplaying him, or his father for that matter, who technically is worse because it's his father, never applied to me, and I would never do that. Draco's still on my top 5 list of cosplay that I would never do, because I hate the character, but somehow Lucius still happened, so what about that? But Tom, why would you cosplay Lucius if you say that you hate him and or the Malfoys? Well, that's really the funny thing that happened. I would of course want to do a Harry Potter cosplay because I'm a big Harry Potter fan, I've always been. And I did a test to see which kind of Death Eater you would be. It's just like one of those online tests, and Lucius came out of it. And then people started coming out of the woodwork saying, yeah, cosplay as Lucius. I was like, no. And then a friend of mine said from, hey, I'm going as Narcissa, can you go as, maybe it's really fun if we do it together. And another friend of mine joined as Draco, and I thought like, sure, I'll give it a try. And the first time I wore Lucius wasn't anything special, I wanted to wear him. But then something happened. Something special. Jason Isaacs, who is already one of my favorite actors as it were, I love his work, came to Dutch Xmas-Con 2016, and I was like, oh god, yeah, throw away the plans, Lucius it is. The chance to meet him was just right there at my fingertips. I was so happy. It was even greater that my mother would join me in a cosplay as Cruella de Vil. It was quite amazing, really. So I threw out all the plans that I had, which was Christmas, Captain Boomerang, and I said, I'm wearing Lucius. And everyone immediately said, yes, why, yes, do this. And I even went as far as to make a whole new outfit, the one you saw in the picture. Hold on a second. If you had a photo, it was taken, what a wonderful man it was. He was really amazing, and he said, yeah, that's me. I love your work, I love the staff. The staff is definitely perfect, but for him to say it, that really means something to me. It was really great meeting him. He was such an amazing and sweet man. So yeah, Lucius has since then become such a significance to me. Because he's also, not just that, he's also a character that I never imagined I would cosplay ever in my life. So the unexpected really does happen, you guys. And it was ironic that I met my current girlfriend, well, sort of, in that cosplay. So of course it does hold its personal significance in that case. So yeah. Yeah, Lucius really did change my life. So of course I rank him on this list for those reasons, because he has grown to something on me. He has meant something to me. Of course, he has proven his significance quite vividly here. But why is he then at the bottom of the list? Well, that's actually quite simple actually. Lucius as a character, I feel like I sometimes don't really portray well. I don't really have that obnoxious, arrogant look. Even though I consider myself slightly arrogant, I can't really put that into look. I can't put his look good, and that is something that I feel kind of bad of sometimes. That I can't portray Lucius as well as I can. Because portrayal is also part of cosplay, in my opinion. So, yeah, Lucius is one of my most significant cosplays, and he's actually the my second most worn cosplay. But, yeah, at the same time, he ranks so low because I don't feel like I can portray the character well and I can relate to it so well. But that being said, Lucius really has proven his significance to me, despite my aversion to both him and his son. Well, my aversion for Lucius has kind of faded, but that for Draco will always remain. But aside from that, it really changed a lot. So Lucius definitely deserves its spot on this list, without a doubt. Meeting Jason Isaacs, oh my god, so great. Number 4 on this list is the Disney villain I never thought I would, well, choose to cosplay as. That is Gaston. I've been a big Disney fan, of course, since my childhood. I, like many others, grew up with Disney. And although I don't remember everything as well as I would, I remember Disney villains always being a huge part. I love Disney villains. Jafar is my current favorite. So it's surprising that I'm not cosplaying him, but I also feel like I can't really cosplay him yet good enough. So maybe that will happen in the future. But yeah, Gaston just suddenly happened actually. With my now girlfriend, which technically she's still not official, we're still not officially together, but we're close enough at that point. I basically say we're together in every sense except for officially. But this was actually the first movie that I've seen come to see with her. And after that movie we decided, yeah, we're going to cosplay as Belle and Gaston. So yeah, that's why Gaston certainly has such a personal significance for me. I've only worn him to a photo shoot that I did to help someone with a project. But yeah, he's already planned for more. He's planned for so much more. Photo shoots, conventions. I love the outfit. I love how confident it makes me feel. And I'm talking of course about the Luke Evans version of Gaston, because I think Luke Evans is perfect for the role. Luke Evans is the perfect Gaston. And yes, for me the highlight of the movie was most definitely him. Not that the other performances weren't great. The movie was in general beautiful and has actually recently become my favorite movie. But in that significance, yeah, Luke Evans stole the show. But best what I can explain. And yeah, Gaston just, I went for it. She ordered her Belle costume, town dress. It arrived literally a day before my Gaston arrived, and I was so happy. It makes me feel so good to wear it. Gaston ranks so high because I never expected, like Lucius, that I would never expect him to be the villain that I would cosplay. I really thought long and hard about which Disney villain I actually wanted to do. There have been many options that have gone through my head. Hades, Scar, Captain Hook. They've all been there, of course. But that Gaston ultimately became the villain that Disney villain that I would choose to cosplay is literally really surprising to me. I'm not like Gaston in any way. Yeah, like I said with Lucius, I feel like I'm slightly arrogant, and I have moments that I think that I'm better than other people, but I would never outright say it because it's impolite and it's just really insensitive to say. Weird, I know. But really, to that point, I kind of understand with Gaston. I understand, well, that love that he has for Belle, yeah, although it will never be reciprocated and it's kind of buffoonish, I can sort of understand that dedication, love takes dedication. Even though it's weird, dedication bordering on obsessive, but I'm a man of love. It's still something beautiful to see, even though you're not supposed to root for the guy, you kind of root for him to some extent. And yeah, it's one of the cosplays that makes me feel very confident walking in, because it's just so beautifully designed. I love the design of it all. That's also one of the reasons. I'm going to do more versions of Gaston, probably. Yeah, still the Luke Evans version. Probably won't do the original Disney version. I might one day, but yeah. So Gaston really made its impact because Beauty and the Beast was the first movie I saw with my Belle, so to say, and because it makes me feel really good wearing it. Well done, Gaston. You truly are a man among men. Number 3, one that has realistically improved itself almost indefinitely, Dr. Alchemy, or Alchemy. I wanted to cosplay him from the moment I saw him in the second episode of The Flash first season. Of course, the twist thereafter that what he was truly a disappointment. I loved the design of the character, and just with a few simple words he won me over. I want to help people bring out their true potential. I can resonate with that. I want people to achieve the best what they can possibly have. Could that be through being confident? Yes, I believe that. So Dr. Alchemy in that sense has a significance for me because I understand his mindset, and I can to a great extent believe in that. I believe that people really should strive hard and be confident to achieve what they are able to achieve, because people are capable of great things if they just set their minds to it. So Dr. Alchemy in that sense has really proven itself, and it also shows in the cosplay because Dr. Alchemy has improved. I made the first mask myself and I was really proud of it. It wasn't perfect by any chance, no. Now that I look back on it, it was kind of bad. But yeah, here. It's actually here. And I don't really have the current mask because it's stored downstairs and I can't really get it at this point. But yeah, as you can see on the photo that showed earlier, here it's a comparison. It's a huge change mask, thanks to my good friend AG Cosplay, aka Jordi, who lent me one of his old failed masks so I can improve upon it and make something out of it. And I decided to make a new Alchemy mask, and believe me, it was amazing. This new mask is probably one of the best works I've ever had. So really, Dr. Alchemy has the significance of being one of my best cosplays. I've only worn it 2 times, but ultimately, it's just an improvement that really proves itself worthy in my book. That Alchemy suddenly, I agree with his ideals, even though they were not technically his, but it's the idea that counts. And I've made such improvements over it that I would never thought possible. I've made a mask so beautiful that, yeah, it just makes me happy to look at it. It makes me happy to see that this work became as great as it is. So yeah, without a doubt, Dr. Alchemy really is one of my best works. It even got featured on Cosplay Spotlight as Cosplay of the Week. Unfortunately in the old mask, but what can I say? But I love it. It's a villain that doesn't speak much. It's a villain that probably is not as significant as Lucius or Gaston. But I love it. It's really a sign of improvement in my case. And I look back on that cosplay with immense pride that I could achieve something so beautiful. It really shows that I will realize my full potential every time I turn my head to it. So Dr. Alchemy is resting here at number 3. So, number 2. Those people that might know me might be surprised at this, might be shocked at this, probably most likely will disagree with this, but number 2, my top 5 cosplays, Captain Boomerang. You heard it, Captain Boomerang is not number 1. It's kind of, well, yeah, it's kind of a thing you wouldn't expect. For those who don't know, I started a Suicide Squad group about 2 years ago. I'm unfortunately no longer part of it, but at that time I decided to become Captain Boomerang. And ultimately, yeah, it started out as just a pretty simple cosplay because it was the beginning of my cosplay life basically. And over the time, a year later after the movie, I started improving it to go for the Suicide Squad version, and ultimately it ended up becoming, well, arguably my most popular cosplay. It's basically the cosplay that I'm most recognized for. Like, my friends in the community, if they see me, they know, yeah, that's Captain Boomerang. It's basically that I'm also kind of like Captain Boomerang, basically. Not the comic book version, that character is a scumbag, is as much a scumbag as scumbags go, but really, it's just the way, I think my cat, sorry, that was my cat who's actually kinda, can you give me a second? Apologies, that was my cat who just wanted to walk in, but yeah, what was I? Oh yeah, Captain Boomerang really has hold a significance over me because it's basically what I'm most known for. I'll show you about, and I also even got a pink unicorn to go with it. His name is Mr. Pinksy. And really, until this day, even with no longer part of the Suicide Squad, Captain Boomerang still holds its significance as one of the cosplays that really improved, and I've always have improved. I've always tried to make it better. I've always tried to make it more. And that's why it's, of course, it's no doubt he would rank that high. But why is he not number 1? Well, I couldn't really explain that, really, because this list is basically predominantly on my feelings, and my feelings change consistently. My opinion on my cosplays and which one's my favorite changes, of course, consistently with every new convention. But Captain Boomerang will always rank that high because, of course, what it means to me. Because it was actually, by far, my consideration, it is the first character that I ever cosplayed properly, and that I've always improved upon. Captain Boomerang is just me. I am Captain Boomerang. I am basically him. That's what I'm known for in the cosplay community, as Captain Boomerang. And people always look at me and say, Tom, you're doing a great job. You're a great Captain Boomerang. Really. And maybe it's because I'm basically just as annoying as he is. But that's just what's always so good to hear. To know that people really appreciate your work and that you're doing a character just fine. Hey, honey. This is my little assistant Nala. Hey, sweetie. Look to the camera. Look to the people. But really, in all seriousness, Captain Boomerang has meant so much to me and continues to still mean so much to me as a character. Because I've spent so much time with him. I've worn him the most out of all my cosplay. I've worn him at least 8 times, even to conventions where I didn't go with the squad. Which will now happen, of course, from the near future. But for all that it's worth, even though I'm no longer part of the squad, Captain Boomerang will, with those memories, always mean so much to me as a character. Yeah, he's a scumbag, and he's a drunk, and he has a weird obsession with pink unicorns, but it's just me now. It's just part of me now. He has really grown on me in ways that I never really imagined, so Captain Boomerang will always mean that much to me personally, because I spent so much love, time and effort in him. You just don't really replace that in a cosplay. And we all have a cosplay that means that much to us. And if I had to pick a cosplay that means the most to me, then it would definitely be good old Boomer. Thanks, mate. And now, before we go into number 1, I'd like to give some honorable mentions to some cosplays that, although I had a fun time wearing, I did not make the cut. Those being Don Thousand, Hive, aka Alpheus, aka Grant Ward, Percival Graves, and Edward Elric. And so, without further ado, number 1. Number 1, of course, no doubt, Prometheus, aka Adrian Chase, aka Simon Morrison. So, how did Prometheus, a cosplay that I just finished this year, outweigh Captain Boomerang, who has been basically with me for the last 2 years? It has a very simple explanation, actually. It's made completely by myself, without any outside help. I was so nervous to do this. So nervous to even make that mask. The first mask prop I made, which is actually here on this channel, is bad. But then I made one in one night, and it was, oh my god, it was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, really. But without any kind of madness in it, I loved what I had done in just a single night. And then the rest came fluently together. And the cosplay is hot. Unbearably hot to wear. Like, it's all leather together. If I get leather pants with it later, then yeah, it will be completely like, oh god, how will you last? But it's the significance that matters. Prometheus has risen up to be my favorite villain overall, and my favorite DC villain. So being able to cosplay him is just such a great honor. It feels so great. I love what I've done. I made it all myself. The entire cosplay, the whole jacket is my work. My outside of help. Without any outside help. My parents helped me, of course, with Lucius and Boomerang to make it better, and I love that. But yeah, Prometheus is just, it comes from the heart. For me it comes from, I'm not saying that Boomerang means any less, but Prometheus came really from the heart. And I really had to gather up my courage to not be afraid to fail and make it. make what it is. And yes, it's not perfect by a long shot, but it's mine. It's my work. It's my Prometheus. And I love it for that reason, that I managed to give so much, so much dedication and effort into it by my own hand. It's my most proudest work, and still is to this day. I have only worn it 3 times. 1 photo shoot, 2 conventions, and 1 was very small, but it has really grown to mean something to me. The character. And my girlfriend's first cosplay actually was Artemis from the Arrow series. It's a great team up together, really, and the team fits. But it's a funny thing, yes. A cosplay that I've only done 3 times. Not even half of what I've done for Captain Boomerang, who I've worn at least more than half those times. But Prometheus really means something because it comes really from the heart. Comes from the heart, and that's what feels so great about it. I made it with my own hands, and even though it's not perfect, it's mine. It's my work, and it's work that I can be proud of because it really shows how I've improved, not just personally, but also really in creativity and ways of making. So yeah, Prometheus, well deserved, without a doubt, is my #1 cosplay. Thank you all really much for watching. I appreciate that the video is so long, but really that take it when you ramble on about the thing you love. Let me know, what is your favorite cosplay and why? What makes your favorite cosplay so significant for you? I love to hear it. I love to know about that. Let me know, please. Have a good day and stay creative, always. And never forget, you're capable of anything when you put yourself to it. Have a wonderful day.